recharge Seahawks defense and see what the Rams can do on offense after that dud against the Jets. Here is Webster on the return to the 20. That's it. Flags fly.
Personal foul.
Get the call.
Illegal double lead block. Receiving team number 82. Half the distance at the goal. First down.
Henderson starts the game with a carry and a pickup of 4.
On all 3 of these backs back then.
Goff out to his left, looks underneath, completes, but a short gain to Josh Reynolds. Play is made by DJ Reed. Scored.
This is that up-tempo the Rams went to right away that Pete Carroll was concerned about.
Here's an incompletion. Had a man. Reynolds again, and Goff missed him. Who is the returner now, as well as being the starting corner. Back to receive it, kind of a knuckler. Not really well hit. Reed's got a little room in front of him. Able to get across the 40 and across the 45 to the 47. Just a 47-yard punt.
Last game against the Rams.
They're going to start with Carson over the right side. Chris Carson gets 4. 2nd and 6. This is Carson, and he stood up. Got maybe half a yard as being number 1 overall with yards allowed per game. Wilson, protection passes, nearly picked, should have been by Darius Williams.
The offense up nicely, so Seattle gets their opening possession with great field position, unable to do anything with it.
Dixon, who may very well be an all-pro this season before it's said and done. Toss to Henderson. He is well pursued. Gets it to the 15. That's it.
But you have to also point out that they haven't faced many good offenses.
Here's one batted into the air, and it drops to the turf. KJ Wright, who made that last tackle, got up and knocked it.
Really the team, I don't think, at least confidence-wise, that they were the last time these teams met.
3rd down and 8. Goff throws, has his buddy Kupp out on the edge for a first down. That was a good throw. Play action from Goff. And he tiptoes and will take off out of bounds shy of the 30.
Recognize what they're doing.
On 2nd down, Goff avoids the rush, throws it away. Woods closest to it.
Kupp right down here at the bottom of the screen.
They're going to grant a timeout, or they're going to get a penalty.
Delay game. Offense number 16. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Didn't see anybody throw a flag. And 3rd down and 11. Goff throws. He's got Kupp, and Kupp's got another 3rd down catch for a first down.
Out as a 4-man rush, and yeah, you're seeing that the Rams are trying to move the pocket a little bit.
Here's one downfield. Nice grab by Woods.
Things that they like to do too, the quick perimeter passing game.
Hand off to Henderson over the right side, and that play's made by Shaq Griffin.
Reed, but he likes to mix it up in the run game as well.
Fake toss. That side of the field wide open for Goff, who is going to get it down inside the 40.
That's the one thing.
Extra man on the rush. Goff to his right, throws. Pass is caught for the first down. That's Woods. And
Malcolm Brown, I believe he was in that running back. He picks it up nicely.
He did. This one incomplete as Goff gets hit.
None of them have been really all that easy. Seattle's defense has been better than what this drive would indicate.
Goff out to his left, wants to throw, and instead spins and gets a short gain.
These offensive coaches really need someone who can run.
Here's a blitz. Pass is behind Van Jefferson, the rookie. He was open.
Maybe coming away with more.
6th game as a Ram for Matt Gay, and he's able to drill it from 44 yards away. And I know, Troy, you want to weigh in on that, as you did when we were there in Inglewood. Because DK Metcalf as we'll talk about it now.
Because there's not many guys, Jalen Ramsey also being one of them, that can run with this guy when he's got a full head of steam.
Here's a pass caught by Disley as Johnson makes a stop, a gain of 6.
Ball down the sideline, and I think that there are going to be opportunities today, and they have to take them.
Trying to swing it out to Lockett, and you might be able to tell me.
Quarterback, they give a lot of different looks, and what you think you're getting pre-snap may not be what you get post-snap.
Here's one underneath for the tight end, Hollister, and he is stood up by Leonard Floyd. Second down and 6. Here's Carson right side, and he runs into a wall. Third down coming up after a gain of 2. Third down here. Wilson in trouble, and down he goes. Sebastian Joseph Day.
You know, you're the forgotten guy, which is not good, but then you get opportunities because of Aaron Donald, which is real good.
Here is Webster going nowhere. It's almost like you can't evaluate the other guys. This drive starts with a handoff to Henderson. He gets to the 15, picks up 3. Rams win today, and they have an inside track on winning the division. What a good play made by this defense. And upfield, it is Mayowa.
Tracing there by Mayowa.
Goff throws, sideline cup. He's got a long way to go, and as he reaches, let's see where they put it down. They're going to mark him short of a first down by a yard.
The passer, and it affected Goff back there in the pocket on where he wanted to go with the football.
All 3 possessions for the Rams have started inside the 15. They just had their second 3 and out of the ball game.
Matchup right here.
Wilson's looking that way. That was batted down and may have prevented a completion. Flag down in the secondary.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense number 68. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Error there by the rookie.
Wilson throws, flag on the play, and there's the first look in the direction, and now completion to DK Metcalf.
Illegal contact. Defense number 31. Penalties decline. Second down.
Second down.
Second and 3. Handoff for the first down and more as Carson hit that hole with a full head of steam and picks up 10.
They're seeing the field the way that you want to call it.
Plus it's warmer up here.
There you go.
Metcalf makes the catch out of bounds on first down with a gain of 4.
They look like an entirely different team since Jalen Hurts took over.
There's no doubt. Wilson out to his left after the fake, now to his right, incomplete for Carson. Third down and 6. Wilson has to pull it down. Flag on the play. Pass is caught, and that's our old friend Greg Olsen back.
Illegal contact. Defense number 43. Penalties decline. Result of the play.
Actually,
first
John
down.
Johnson, I thought.
He's been out since week 11 with a torn plantar fascia in his foot as Carson gets run out of bounds with a short gain by Darius Williams.
I don't know who we're signed up with after this year.
Here's Wilson wide open, and he missed him. Jacob Hollister. Wilson runs right into Leonard Floyd. He drilled it 45 yards, and he's now made 32 straight. It's a Rams only to get that cackle. Fake toss and a handoff on a really tight play to Robert Woods. There wasn't any room in there whatsoever.
Trying to keep your playoff hopes alive and get into the postseason, a championship for the Seattle Seahawks.
Here's Reynolds on 2nd and 10 for 6. So you wonder, with all this playoff seeding talk, how big of a deal home field advantage really is.
Yeah.
Here's Goff. Good throw, good catch, first down.
In cities and because of the weather, but outside of that, that's about it.
Flag on the play. Pass is caught by Reynolds.
12 men. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
It's better up tempo.
I would not disagree with that.
Havenstein on the right side. Who's this one against?
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 91. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
So it's a we'll see if he comes back into the fold going forward or not. Here's Henderson. He gets one. Philly wins and Washington loses. Those two teams play week 17 for the division. Here's Cup. He's down with another first down inside the 35 and a gain of 11.
Coming off the edge, and he pulls up. He loses a little bit of ground and finds Cup in the middle.
5th catch for Cooper Kupp. Here is Higbee underthrown, and flashing in front of it was Adams, who almost came away with a pick. Loss by Washington in Philly. Here's one to the sideline. It's not there for Woods. 3rd down and 10. Goff steps through and will throw incomplete.
Or to really go with the football.
First attempt by Matt Gay at over 50 yards, and when Sean McVay says the Rams think they've found their long-term answer at kicker, he might be right. Next week, or the Seahawks losing to the 49ers.
Brady, a big win for them yesterday. Boy, Tom looked good in that game.
Boy, I'll say. Didn't even have to play in the second half against Detroit. Here's Carson for 5.
Resume like that are kind of hard to believe. You know, it's pretty impressive.
Here's Wilson, airing it out downfield, and it's not there. But there's that shot you were waiting for to DK Metcalf.
Another gear that he's not tapped into completely.
Pass on 3rd and 5 broken up. And this defense for the Rams.
And start getting confident in what they're seeing and completing a high percentage of passes.
Dixon hits a booming punt that drives Webster out of bounds. That's about as good as you can do it. 56 yards. Well, we haven't seen much offense yet. They like to run it with Woods, who had a 40-yarder allowed per game. They've turned that around, and we've got a penalty flag at the snap.
False start. Offense number 89. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
So optimistic in believing that eventually they'll get to the level that they need to, and that has happened.
Pretty good carry here on 2nd and 14 by Brown. 4-man rush. Goff comes underneath. Pass is caught, and a good defensive play.
Blanketed.
Hecker is hit. There's a flag down, and Hecker is injured.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Excuse me, roughing the kicker. Defense number 35. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
And off to Henderson. Not much. Jordan Brooks. Friday night SmackDown all new coming up. Meanwhile, the Rams hurry it up. Woods makes the catch, and he's out of bounds near the 40. They're going to give him the 41.
Already. Now watch here. It looks like he's coming off the edge.
Here's a handoff or push pass to Kupp. Did he get enough? He's out of bounds right at the marker.
Thought that would have been a challenge.
Pass is wobbly but caught. Pressure by Monet, who is back. Goff out to his left, throws across his body, and it's missed by Higbee.
Then moving the football in an offense that's hitting on all cylinders as opposed to not coming with any points.
Here's Henderson, who takes it inside the 30. Got a good block from Havenstein and gets 14. Now they fake it to Henderson, and Goff out to his right is going to float it and intercepted. Picked off by Quandre Diggs. Diggs on the return is brought down by Corbett.
I have no idea what he saw, Joe.
Seahawks get the takeaway as they trail by 3. In the 49er game earlier in the year. Wilson throws it over the middle where it's caught by Carson Reeder on the stop.
It just doesn't get any uglier than that.
2nd down and 4. Carson cuts upfield, takes it into Ram territory.
Can they do it again?
Wilson keeps. Throws incomplete for the tight end, Hollister. Pass to Disley, a juggle, a catch, and he's thrown down by Johnson immediately. Pass is caught. There's Metcalf. 1st down inside the 30 to the 27. 18-yard play, the longest of the game for the Seahawks. And here to Carson. Johnson sticks his head in there. And
you know, in a game like this, and especially when you start talking about postseason, you just can't have those kinds of mistakes.
Pass is in and out of the hands of Metcalf.
Gives him some help, not because he needs it, but just because they change up the looks.
They got each other again. Wilson is going to be sacked by Leonard Floyd, having a day again. It is good. What a year he's had. Will this be number 7?
I mean, you have to trust your quarterback and let it rip.
Underneath, low throw, catch is made. Trying to stamp their ticket to the postseason here today. Blitz off the edge, and this is to the running back. They're down and 8. Goff is going to try and run for it. He slides short of 1st down yardage. It's 4th down. Hecker hits his best of the day. Fair catch hauled in by DJ Reed.
He'd even hit practice. He wears out his own guy.
From the 16. Wilson throws. Good catch by Metcalf. Behind him a bit.
Reason that division winners shouldn't always be granted a playoff.
Yeah, those aren't the rules. Here's Wilson going to air it out downfield. He's looking for Lockett and overthrew him.
Run about 7 yards towards the line before you launch it.
Here is a 1st down carry by Hyde.
First pick. Put an exclamation mark on.
Here's Wilson going to take off. They don't have any timeouts. And getting back late is Metcalf.
I think Aaron Donald might have something to say about it.
Instead, they hand off. Okay. That was Hyde, brought down by Terrell Lewis, a gain of 2.
Perimeter passing game, the quick wide receiver screens. I think McVay's going to do everything he can to try to get him into some kind of rhythm.
Swain on the return is knocked down just shy of the 30. And let's check in with Aaron Andrews. Reception by Goff. And got half of a football game to figure out who's stamping their ticket either for a divisional title.
That Seattle is totally comfortable playing. I mean, we've seen this all the time from them.
Here's Carson Johnson out there, makes a stop. This kid is good.
Player at that safety position also.
Wade at Washington. Third down here, and Wilson's going to go downfield for more. Nice spinning catch, and he is in bounds with a first down at the 23. Easily the longest play of the game, 45 yards. Wilson was going to take it himself. Second and 12, they hand to Carson. Play made by Leonard Floyd.
Well, under Vic Fangio, and he's been excellent.
Third down and 9 now. Wilson gets flushed. Drops it off. Great play. Hyde down inside the 5.
Can they finish it off?
First down and goal. Wilson keeps. Looking for Disley. Wilson will take it for the touchdown. First touchdown of the game.
Yeah, you just put the ball in his hands enough times, and he's going to make plays.
This is the second rushing touchdown of the season for Wilson. Extra point is good. Here in the second half, now down by 7. We'll get a return by Webster. Couple of missed tackles along the way, and he's out across the 30. He's obviously very much alive with a week to go. 2 divisional matchups in week 17. Here's Henderson. Good start to this possession.
Get up a little bit and get to the line as quickly as they could and get Seattle on their heels a little bit.
Here's a fake toss. Goff is going to slide inside the 45 to the 44.
They would come back and have a better showing.
Henderson right side. Looks like that previous play, and Darrell Henderson.
A big third down right here.
3rd and 3. Quick setup. Pass is caught for the first down. Gerald Everett.
Tough cover. These guys are athletic tight ends that can catch the football.
Henderson tries the left side and gets a yard. Maybe 2.
Takes a little time.
Good protection. Wide open is Higbee. First down and more. Higbee is still rumbling inside the 15. Hand off to Reynolds. Woods blocking out in front. Reynolds. Across from the rookie Van Jefferson. Play goes to the right side. Henderson gets the edge. He's down near the 1. They're going to mark him at the 2. What a good play made here by Brooks, the rookie. He met Brown in the backfield.
Great stop. They're on first down.
They run it with Brown. He is inside the 1. 180. Goff keeps. And he is shoved. Looked like he might have gotten in on that second effort. It's 4th down.
Unless
Seattle's challenging
they
really
saw
on the field.
something we didn't, but I
Recovered by the defense.
don't know that. I don't think there's any way you're going to know that who recovered this football.
There's the ball out. Goff is right there, and then it's just a pile of bodies. A challenge. It's going to be either Seattle's ball or 4th and goal after we get the call.
After reviewing the play, there was a fumble, but there was not a clear recovery. Seattle loses the challenge, and they're charged the first time out.
No real surprise. The ball is on the leg of the center, Austin Blythe, and then it just gets sucked down into a black hole down there. Nobody knows where the ball is. Brown in the backfield. Gets it. And short. Seattle's defense makes a play. What a job by this Seahawks defense. And now from the end zone, pass is incomplete. Pass is over the middle, caught by Disley. And a sack by Aaron Donald.
trying to pull him into the end zone.
Looked like a flinch and a false start out on the edge.
False start. Offense number 34. Half the distance to the goal. Still 4th down.
And not be impressed weekly watching Aaron Donald.
Dixon has to get rid of it fast, and he does. Webster hauls it in on his side of the 50 and now loses the ball. Seahawks look like they've got it. And the Rams end up on top of it. Boy, we watched the replay of it during the break. You can't believe that Seattle somehow didn't come away with the ball. Here's Goff. You've seen this play over and over and over. 3rd quarter. 2nd down and 7. Here's Brown. Nothing. Play made by Shaquille Griffin.
Not to mention the tight ends that we've talked about.
3rd down and 7. Pass is caught. There's one of those tight ends, Everett.
They have not been able to really get anything down the field.
Here is Cup. Should end the quarter. 2nd down and 4 as Goff is going to throw, and it's broken up. Griffin made that play.
Quarterbacks, but we could see some accuracy issues going forward.
Goff. Cup. 1st down. Forward progress stopped at the 16. And
deal with a lot. And he's hanging in there, and he delivered a perfect ball on that one.
Goff is set. Brought down by Alton Robinson. Goff underneath, broken up.
Right here, but 3 points is still important.
They run it with Brown. And he rides to the 15, Rasheem Green. Three for 3 on the day. Freddie Swain will bring it out. Was that a good decision? It's about a wash.
Aaron would know a thing or two about biased.
That. From the 26, Wilson steps up, throws high for Hollister. Handoff to Carson. Good play by Williams. Aaron Donald got penetration. Wilson over the middle. Pass is caught. Metcalf got enough. 1st down, Seattle. Penny, 1st-round pick from 2018, coming off a torn ACL. 2nd game back. Speed. Hand it to him again. He is short of 1st down yardage. Carson gets it.
Illegal shift. Offense number 14.
Wow.
He never got set. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
We'll see if this comes back. Alongside Wilson on 3rd and 6. Wilson in trouble. Brockers is there. Play made by the Rams.
And really Seattle's defense also. Both units have put on a show.
Line drive punt by Dixon. Cup is trying to stay in bounds. By the way, Simba Webster.
Rams have started inside the 15-yard line today.
They hand it to Brown. He cuts upfield, and that's one of their bigger plays of the game. Got a good block from Cooper Kupp.
It's like Larry Allen, huh?
Goff out to his right. Pass incomplete. 2 yards below his season average. 2nd down and 10. Pass Pass caught by Reynolds, makes a move, still going. Broke a tackle and takes it down to midfield is Shaq Griffin. Play action, Goff in trouble, and he has to bounce it into the tight end Munt. Goff runs into trouble, and he is brought down by Reed.
Jamal Adams, initially it looked like one-on-one on Diggs, but Adams got underneath the throw.
Rams hurry it up, 3rd down and 12, passes incomplete for Woods.
And they've shut him down. Both these defenses have been spectacular. Seattle, every yard has just been hard to get.
That checks out of bounds inside the 20. Not continuing that drive. Ramsey just took a moment to say something to Goff like, hey, we got you. We'll see if they do. If they can make a stop, get the ball back.
Give up a touchdown on this drive because they're relying on this group an awful lot.
Here's Carson right up the middle. Wilson floats it. That's Lockett. 3 catches, 44 yards for Lockett. Here's Penny, stumbles after getting the ball and then runs into Michael Brockers. No gain. Pressure from Donald. Carson gets it and made the most out of it. 3rd down and 8. See if Wilson gets a conversion on 3rd down passes to Metcalf, and he lowers his shoulder and gets it as he plows into linebacker Troy Reeder. The door of the best receiving yardage season in Seahawks history. Handoff here to Carson on 1st down. He gets 3 in the game. Rams do have all 3 timeouts. Carson on 2nd and 7 gets a few.
On 3rd and 5.
And they convert. Wilson, end zone. Hollister, touchdown! And that could be the knockout blow and the division winner right there.
Design, man coverage, they run. You see the pick right there. Just when he's got to come underneath and try to make a play on that, Hollister then has the angle. Fuller has to come underneath. And once he comes underneath, he's anticipating that Hollister's only going to get to the chains where the 1st down marker is. Otherwise, over the top. He's trying to guard against the easy completion for the 1st down. Instead, he gives up the touchdown.
That is a 9-play. It's a scenario here where the Rams don't make the playoffs. They could have stamped their ticket here today with a win and assured themselves a spot and a chance. Flag on the play and the return by Webster. Chance at the division title. 5 seconds to go in this
During
one.
the return, holding, receiving team number 49. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Skunks, the problem is Seattle just has not given those up at all this afternoon.
Here is a pass underneath. Malcolm Brown gets knocked down for Pete Carroll in his 11 years here. Seahawks winningest head coach in franchise history as this one gets hit by Dunlap.
Right, and Bobby Wagner too. They were doing their best Aaron Rodgers. Everybody relax. We'll keep it together.
Here's a pass caught for a 1st down. He wasn't touched, and Seattle's going to take over. Reynolds.
Their ball, Seattle ball.
It's Seattle's ball. A flag flies. Havenstein is slow to get up. In essence, he just hands the ball to the Seahawks. Let's see if he was touched. No, he's not touched. They could rule that he, meaning Reynolds, gave himself up.
Well, if that's not a give up, then I don't know what is. But you're right. I mean, it does pose that question because you can give yourself up as a runner.
Let's see.
Which obviously is what he's doing.
The ruling on the field is the runner gave himself up. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, offensive bench. It'll be 1st and 10 after the 15-yard penalty.
So the
180.
Ankrum, Tremaine Ankrum, a rookie, takes over, and this ball is broken up.
Using every single throw here on this possession.
Second down and 10. Now this one's short for Malcolm Brown. They're down 11. Goff is swallowed up and sacked back inside the 15. Jaron Reed again. Havenstein back in the game, so that's good news. This one way short of first down yardage as Higbee is wrapped up, and the defense for Seattle makes the stop, and the Seahawks take over.
And those two guys have been key figures in this defensive turnaround.
What a combination, head coach and general manager. That's how magic happens when you've got two guys on the same page. He and Carroll have it working, and what a turnaround it's been for this defense, and they are a dangerous team going in.
And sometimes, most years, you're able to rest some players, but there's a lot at stake, as you just pointed out, going into next week.
Pete Carroll has got another division title. And the Rams are held by Pete's defense to no touchdowns in the game for the first time this year. Seahawks win the West.